Welcome to the Strangecast, podcast made by strangers for strangers. I'm Ryan.
My name's Kalis.
I'm Nicole.
And we're the Strangecast. And that's our intro again, as always. As always after we say our names.
And I would say our contest has now become the first person to offer to remix our opening. You get money of some kind, like a gift card. I don't care.
We'll figure it out.
Somebody do it. Just do it. I'm challenging everybody that's listening to this right now. Fucking remix that fucking song.
I have GarageBand.
Well, I got GarageBand. I mean, we could definitely do it. You can't qualify. You can't.
No, I'm definitely not. I'm superhuman with vision, not with hearing.
Tetrachromia.
Tetrachromia, that's true.
Well, in this episode, we're going to be doing, guess what?
What?
Say it, Kalis.
Is it the news?
The news. He's got it.
Oh.
Figured it out.
I hope there's some news about rape.
But first, I don't think there is. I don't know.
There better be, or I'm going to quit.
There's no rape, but we'll sneak a rape in there somewhere. Which is what most people do, is they sneak a rape in.
Most people will sneak a rape.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta get Twitter open.
Get a little rape in there. So, first things first, Kalis wants to bring up a little, hey, how you doing?
And I'll tell you what's been going on. Remember back when I had said I had met a girl on OkCupid?
Yeah, you're the subplot.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so we hooked up a couple of times, and she moved away, about 2 hours away, and she wanted to come back to visit. And I was like, cool, I know you got friends here, I know you want to, so let's make this happen. So I put down money, and I put money in her account, like $40.
Oh boy.
To pay for her gas, and she was supposed to be here Friday, and I just heard from her today. Now, first off, where would your mind go with that?
She stole your money.
Okay.
She's a whore.
Nicole?
She's a prostitute and a hooker.
She's
also a prince of Nigeria.
She got scared.
Okay. I called. What would your reaction have been? Like, would you have called them a couple times? How many times would you have called them to try and get in touch with them?
I would have.
3 over the course of the weekend.
Yeah, 3's a good number. 2 or 3.
I probably called her once every day just to be like, hey, what the fuck,
Yeah.
Well, turns out she got arrested.
No.
And I didn't know, and I felt bad because progressively my messages would be more harsh. Like, the last one I left was, what the fuck?
Yeah, well, I mean, she should recognize that that's a natural reaction.
And she did, and she was like, she was kind of like, she thought I would be the one that was mad, and I was, and...
But I want to see an arrest record.
I'm not that worried about it. I was more happy to hear from her. I was genuinely concerned. I was kind of like, I wonder what happened to her. But then I was like, maybe she scammed me. I couldn't,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right back to Nigeria.
What did she say she got arrested for?
She was smoking a blunt and got caught by the cops. She was
prostitution.
She was in a car with a friend, and the car they came up and tapped on the window.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, car with a friend.
I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt. That's the kind of guy I am. But I thought you guys would like to know how it's come full. I mean, it's that's as far as it's gotten. So interesting stuff. I was pissed. I was upset. And like the night she was supposed to come out over, and she, I never heard from her. I was like, well, fuck this, and I went out on my own. Hey,
she gets one phone call. The fuck.
Yeah, you're right. You would think she'd be calling me.
She should have called you.
Also, who didn't bail her out for 3 days?
I don't know.
No, for like a week almost. Well, less than 4
3 days.
5 days. 4 days.
Maybe she got out already. Maybe she got out before then. She just didn't call me until now. I don't know.
Well, no, because maybe no one could afford to bail her out, and she was just going to get arraigned on Monday.
Yeah. That's
yeah, but bailout's probably like $40 to be honest with you, Kalis.
No way, man.
No, I don't think
so. When I got bailed out, my bail was $5,000. They went through a bail bondsman, and they.
Well, it depends on the arrest, I guess. Yeah.
Well, I think weed's it's a narcotic. I mean, as far as the state's concerned, it is, and I mean, it's the same charge as a DUI. It's like a Class B, Class C.
Oh, wow. Okay, all right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You gotta understand, this is Texas, so.
Yeah.
It's probably a little different.
Okay, so that's what's going on with your woman.
That's what's going on with
your
that
special
one
lady
woman.
friend, man.
I've got it's my fucking special lady friend.
Are you helping her conceive?
Just fuck off, Delfino.
Anyway, the news.
Whoa. That's so fast. What's going on with you guys?
I got a job!
Woo! I'll throw in some applause.
Woo! Yay! I got a really cool job with really cool people. So
that's cool. That's pretty awesome. I'm glad you're happy about that.
Mm-hmm.
And Ryan, anything going on with you?
I have a serious case of TMJ, and I can't open my mouth. And the only thing I could do, I tried to eat a taco today, and it really hurt.
Oh.
I bought a mouth guard, which I don't know if anyone who's listening, I don't know if anyone is listening, but I don't know if anyone who would be listening has ever worn a mouth guard. And my clenching of teeth at night is so bad that my whole dream, this is the first time I ever wore a mouth guard, my whole dream was how I couldn't clench my teeth.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And I woke up and I spit the thing out just to like bite down, and I didn't even realize it until the morning.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's bad.
Wow.
And they wanted, they're like, and we'll do a cleaning. I'm like, nah, I just want to get my fucking teeth removed or whatever you have to do. Let's not kick me when I'm down. But
yeah, I don't mind the dentist. The dentist isn't too bad. I've always had a good time. I guess because he always drugs me up.
It's just, there's always a problem when I go to the dentist. That's why. There's always something I got to come back for. It's never just like a cleaning and hey, see you later. See you in 6 months. It's always a cleaning and and we also have to do this, this, and this. That'll take 4 times of you coming in. So why don't you do? And it's just like, God damn it. So anyway, the news.
The news.
The news.
First things first. Penis dying wish fulfilled as David Tennant uses his skull in Hamlet performance.
Wait, what? Oh, pianist.
Pianist.
A pianist.
So Andrei Tarkowski died of cancer in 1982, age 46. He donated his body for medical science. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but the rest I'll paraphrase from what I read. He was to donate his body, his skull, to the performing arts, and it was to be used in Hamlet. Now, I know Nicole is very versed in Hamlet. Based on, and if you haven't listened to it, go listen to the most boring story ever told on our YouTube page. But Kalis, are you familiar with Hamlet at all?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, so I won't go through the whole nitty gritty, but suffice it to say, there's a scene where Hamlet goes through. I don't know. Now, Nicole, correct me if I'm wrong. Is it a graveyard? Is it just a battle scene, or is it the catacombs?
No, it's a graveyard, and there's grave diggers that have been digging a grave for somebody.
Anyway.
Who's been killed, and he finds a skull, and he picks it up, and he recognizes the skull as somebody he knows.
And the scene is the famous speech is, "Alas, poor Yorick, I knew him, Horatio, a fellow of most infinite jest, of most excellent fancy," and he recognizes the skull as Yorick's because Yorick had 2 front fucked up teeth, and Yorick was also their jester. That's neither here nor there. So anyway, this guy died, and he wanted his skull to be used in that famous scene. So it was donated to the Arts Center, and where, I don't know. I'll look it up later. Or you could just go to just click the link. I'm assuming in England, because David Tennant is one of the Doctor Who actors.
Oh my God!
So anyway, I could be wrong. I hope I'm not.
You're not. He's the 9th. Right. He's the 9th Doctor. No, he's the 10th. He's the 10th Doctor.
Oh, I didn't know you were a Who fan.
I'm a Who guy.
But anyway.
Are you a Whovian?
Yes, he was.
Okay, so no one wants anyone before him didn't use the skull, and it was because they were just kind of weirded out by it, I guess, and they just didn't feel comfortable using it. So David Tennant gets there, and he's like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna use it," but I'm not gonna tell anyone. Oh, you know why the other people didn't use it? Because it's not Yorick's skull. The whole scene is, I'm using, this is, alas, poor Yorick, I knew him, Horatio, but we're all going to know who this guy's skull is.
Yeah,
So
that's kind of weird. Isn't that weird? Like to know the person behind the skull.
yeah, but regardless, it's kind of like, I mean, you're not Hamlet, so this isn't us. Like the skull is acting in a sense, but either way, they didn't feel comfortable.
Oh, that's a good way to think of it.
And so David Tennant's been using it for like, I don't know, 6 or 8 months or something like that. And it just came out, and he didn't tell anyone because he didn't want anyone to go to Hamlet to see a human skull. He wanted to honor the request and use it, but not make it the central point of why you would go see this play. So I thought it was interesting.
Good times.
On a related note, not to talk more, but there was a oh God, I cannot remember this guy's name. I'll have to look it up. But there was another performer who stopped doing Hamlet because he actually saw the ghost of his dead father on stage. He was method acting so hard.
Oh, eesh.
That he
That's
saw, and
spooky.
he had a meltdown on stage, ran off, never did Hamlet again. Daniel Day-Lewis.
Oh, that makes sense because he's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's how he's such a good actor.
So I just told that story in like 15 minutes, and I just went back to it. Stratford upon Avon, by the way, Avon, is where it was. It's literally like 3 paragraphs long. I told the story longer than it actually is.
That's creepy, right?
That is
Somebody's real skull. Although, you know what? You guys ever been to the bodies exhibit?
No, but I know.
What are you talking about? The museum? What's it called? Body Works? Or
No.
No. It's an exhibition of real human bodies that have been preserved in such a way that you can see all the detail of tissue. So be it an organ or a muscle or the bones or skin. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. You can get right up next to it. They just don't want you. They don't want you touching them.
Do
Obviously.
y'all know what Body Works is? Have y'all heard of that?
Sounds like
No.
a yoga studio.
No. It's a museum where it's people's bodies that have been donated to science, like whole bodies, and they're like, I don't know what the word is, laminated. You guys gotta see this.
Preserved.
Yeah, that's kind of like bodies exhibit.
It sounds exactly what it's like.
Now,
Yeah.
I think what happened was bodies, what you're talking about, Nicole,
Uh-huh.
was very controversial because they were exhumed bodies from, I think, Thailand, and none of
And China. Yeah.
the family members gave permission, but for some weird law in Thailand, the artist was able to do it. And so they got into a lot of trouble. I don't know if it was trouble, but certainly controversy. And then a lot of other places did what Kalis is talking about. So
Yeah, they were telling us at the bodies exhibit that they couldn't do this in the U.S. because of what they do to the body, it's illegal in the United States.
yeah, it's something along those lines. But to end the story on Hamlet, it was something I thought of. I mean, not I thought of, but I would definitely do that.
Something Ryan thought of, nobody else could ever think of.
Fuck them. I probably thought of it before.
It's probably just Ryan.
Well, I probably thought of using a real skull, maybe not donating mine. But anyway, next story.
Well, what do we have here? Oh, just another 5-year-old boy running up a 1,700-pound shopping spree in iPad apps in under 10 minutes.
1,700 pounds? That's like
Yeah, so
a ton.
That's $2,550 American.
That's
Yeah, that is a ton actually. That's a ton of cash. So apparently he just got a hold of the iPad and just went swish, 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 and ended up buying a bunch of shit. And apparently, like, just because of the way the settings are on his parents' iPad, it just went through on whatever credit card that's saved to the iTunes store, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's how mine works.
Yeah. I mean, it's super convenient unless you let your children play with things that aren't toys. So
There you go.
I just thought this was interesting because I think it's weird that people think it's okay to just hand over a $500 toy to a 5-year-old. But, you know, we limit how many hours a day that children can watch of television. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's still technology. Their brain is still developing. Their brain needs human interaction, not technological interaction. It just irritates me when I hear stories about like this.
It's what's weird is that I are you guys Dead Space? Are you guys gamers at all?
Not
Gamers?
really.
I'm like a gamer. I'm probably a bigger gamer than you are.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm not a challenge. I thought
right.
we had established that I'm the nerd of the group.
That's fine.
What game are you talking about?
Well, I just bought I played Dead Space 1, so if I don't know if there's any listeners out there that have played Dead Space, but I love Dead Space 1.
I actually have no idea what that game is.
Oh, that's weird because you're probably not a big gamer, but
Oh, you don't think so?
I went-
Go ahead and tell me about it, you little game.
I went back and I bought Dead Space 2 and 3, and I was on 3 today. If you don't know about it, you upgrade your weapons, Nicole.
Uh-huh.
And when you upgrade your weapons, you have to like take things that you found around the map and you bring it to the bench, and you take and you add them to your weapon, and you make your weapon better. So on the third one, you put your weapon in, and it's like, well, you need this, this, and this. Hey, don't have it? Why don't you go to the online store? And you hit like select, and it brings up for me, it's the PlayStation Store, and you can buy all the necessary things you need to make your weapon better for like $3. And I was like, this is the way gaming's
You're
going.
talking about like downloadable content?
Yeah, it's downloadable content, but I think I read the story, and I'm pretty sure that kid, he didn't just run up 2,500 in games. He bought one game and downloaded all the content to it.
Oh wow!
And
what game was it?
I don't remember, but
Wow.
But Nicole's right. Like, watch your kid with the fucking, like, you can't get mad. You gave a kid a.
Yeah, and the term is freemiums,
Mhm.
which are it's a free app that has expensive enhancements. So yeah, basically, this article actually doesn't name what it was specifically.
Because that's what I'd be interested in. I mean, I know a lot of apps with that extra content available, but it's rare that. I mean, like that's a lot of money. So I mean, that shit's been around for a long time, and I'm sure they're going to keep doing it.
Well, yeah,
Right,
I mean that's the future.
Because games take a long time to develop. At least a year and a half, 2 years. That's just in production. That's just developing the game, the code and the graphics and all that. And to maximize that, you have to just kind of patch on and add and piecemeal to it to maximize what you can get out of each game. You can't blame them for trying to squeeze every little penny out of each consumer, each fan.
True, but I mean, you got to draw the line somewhere.
Right.
And okay, so Marvel vs. Capcom, if y'all have ever played those games, the third one came out maybe a year and a half ago. I don't know. And it came out with like so many characters, let's say 25. I don't know exactly the amount, but and then you could get 2 downloadable characters to the downloadable content. Well, I guess a lot of people felt that the game was unbalanced compared to previous titles because this was the third one, and there wasn't enough characters, and they didn't know if they were going to release the character. I don't know, maybe they had just done new work on the characters that it wouldn't work with the way that the game was designed. But anyway, so they released an entirely new game. The first one's called Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and they released one called Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. It's the same game. There's a few little tweaks to the way the characters fight, and I think 12 characters are included with it. So it's a little bit like a different game, but it's pretty much the same game. I mean, it's just got a bunch of shit tacked on. But they went that route. They released an entirely different game as opposed to making all that shit downloadable content. I kind of saw that as bad. That was kind of a mess up on their part. Right.
Anyway, speaking of HIV.
Let's get into it.
Segue.
All right. We've all heard of this now. Have we not?
Yeah, I think so.
So why don't you? Yeah, it's new, man.
What the fuck are you talking about?
HIV, man? Dude, you can't just like sleep with anyone you want for $40 anymore.
I think I will. I think I'll continue to just throw the $40 bills around and see what happens.
Or in their account. But listen, the baby was cured in Mississippi.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Basically, the mother didn't know she had AIDS. Or HIV. I guess it just says HIV. But she didn't know she had HIV. And by the time they found out from like routine lab tests that they do in labor, it was too late to like treat the baby. So they gave the baby a pretty potent um, drug, and it was very soon after birth. And weeks later, HIV is now undetectable in the baby. Now everyone's posting everywhere, "Oh, hey, we cured AIDS." We didn't. We got one baby, and I think it's actually the second baby we've ever cured. Um, but also, mothers who have HIV that get pregnant, there are drugs that stop 98% of the infection to the baby. 98% of kids, of mothers that get it, the kids don't.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
So,
I didn't either.
for some reason, I could see why, but I don't know why it's so sensationalized, because I'm pretty sure I'm looking at like one of the original articles that came out. The Guardian,
Mhm.
the Guardian. The Guardian's pretty popular, but like the fact that it's like, oh, you keep seeing like, oh, the Pope quits and we cure AIDS. No, none of that actually happened. So
No, the Pope really did quit.
he did quit. Yeah.
Well, I think what is catching everybody's attention is that this baby had HIV when it was born.
Right.
And then they gave it typical medication and expected a follow-up. But usually these children grow up with HIV. They're never cured. This is the first
It's
time
rare though. No, what I'm saying is if you catch it at birth, like I said, this mother didn't know she had it.
Right. It's rare that babies with HIV positive mothers catch it because they know to give the mother medication.
Right.
However, of the babies who do catch it from their mother, they go on to live HIV positive lives. Like it never goes away. And the other thing that's actually interesting about this case, if you read a bit further down, it's not just a few weeks. They gave the drugs for a few weeks, and then the mother stopped taking the baby to the clinic. So the baby didn't have any drugs.
Is this the first baby or the second baby?
Weeks.
This is all right. So
we're still talking about the second baby.
The second,
right?
but the one that's popular. I'm saying I'm pretty sure that this is.
I'm sorry, but what Nicole was talking about, where they stopped taking the baby to the clinic, that's the second baby still?
The second baby. This is the most popular one, the one you just talked about, yeah.
Okay. Because that's what I was wondering about, too. I had heard that same thing, that she'd stopped taking the baby to the clinic, and the baby stopped receiving treatment for a while.
Right, until it was about 2 years old. And then when she came back to the clinic, they tested to see what its levels were like, and it had no HIV in its blood at all.
It's an extraordinary case. It really is. But I feel like people are like, and cure for AIDS. And you're like, not at all. Not at all.
I mean, I guess what's taken people is that it can be done. Like, you can get rid of AIDS. Even if we don't have the perfected yet, we're still working on it. But it's nice to know that, we've gotten pretty close.
Well, yeah, and the thing about science and studying medicine and things that of this nature, infectious diseases, is that when you have an anomaly like this, it's very important because you have to study the mother and the child and see what's different about them so that you could possibly, bleed something off of them that can turn into a real cure for other people. Just like,
Magic Johnson.
Who's that guy that has the record for most blood donations in the world because he was born with a mutation in his blood where he was immune to some certain childhood disease.
Yeah, I think he stopped donating though, didn't he?
He did. Yeah, he didn't have to donate anymore because they finally just had enough of his blood to go around. Everyone in the world doesn't have to worry about this disease anymore because of his mutated blood. So I don't remember what.
So he's a mutant.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I don't remember what that disease was, but it was very common. Not very common, but pretty common for babies to, when they catch it, they would just die. They're born with this disease and they die. But if they get a blood transfusion with a little bit of his blood, then they'll be fine.
There's also there's a few.
What's the disease?
I don't remember.
Oh, God damn it.
There's also if you ever go to if you're ever in a science class or chemistry class and they give you cells to put on a petri dish, all the cells that we have today from that you use in like high school science are from the same lady.
What?
Not kidding.
Oh, we always use our own cheek cells.
Well, you could do that too, but all the there was I believe she was a housemaid, something, early 1900s, maybe late 1800s, and she had a tumor, and the tumor kept growing, and it just so happened that this particular tumor, the way the cells will always multiply, and,
Wow.
and so any type of cells that scientists perform tests on are from the same lady.
Weird.
And her family didn't get compensated at all for it because she was like a housemaid or a slave or something.
Well, you know what? The guy who invented the polio vaccine didn't get paid for it. I don't know.
Louis Pasteur?
I don't know.
I don't know that he invented the polio vaccine. I know he learned how to pasteurize milk.
Oh, that's why they call it pasteurized milk? It's named after somebody?
Yeah, his name is Louis Pasteur.
Fuck, I am learning all kinds of shit on this fucking podcast. Damn, dude.
There was something else.
And we hope that you at home are also learning. You can email now.
Henrietta Lacks, 1950s. So you know how when you get the flu's a virus. So you get the flu and you get sick, and then your body fights it. You never get rid of that virus, but your body fights it, so you never have to worry about it again. But you still have it. So if you were to come in contact with someone, I mean, I'm hypothetically, and certainly this is exaggerating, but if you were to come in contact with someone who didn't have, well, I mean, look at when we set foot on America. All the Indians got sick because they were catching diseases they had never seen before, or that their body had never fought before. They were just getting bombarded by all this shit that the settlers already had, and their body dealt with it, and they weren't affected by it. But the Native Americans were like dying off because they're like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
So
crazy. Okay, if the plague is still around, what countries still have the plague?
I think there's you can die of the. I think there's a good amount of people who die of the plague every year. 1994, 5 Indian states, 700 infections. 1994 and 2010, Peru. 2010, Oregon. 2012, Oregon and Colorado. 7-year-old girl. The most recent person that died from Wikipedia, September 2012, a herdsman in China was reported to have died of the disease after finding a dead marmot and eating it.
That's why I don't eat
dead
marmots I found in a Chinese rice paddy, you know?
Yeah.
Just don't do it.
But next story.
All right, all the way from the exotic land of Detroit, Michigan. Ferndale police arrested 35-year-old Detroit man they say led officers on a high-speed chase over a $16 dine-and-dash restaurant bill. Okay, so he went to Buffalo Wild Wings. He got some wings. His bill came out to $16, and he tried to bail out. He tried to just ditch on the tab. The waitress was, coherent enough to actually, give the police a description of his vehicle, and then soon after the police spotted somebody who matched the description, and they tried to pull him over to ask him, hey, all they were going to do was ask him to go back to pay the bill. They were not going to arrest him for theft or anything like that, because typically in these situations they just tell him, hey, if you don't pay that bill, the server has to pay for it. So don't make somebody pay for your meal, just go back and pay for it. But instead of pulling over, he just took off. He told them, fuck off, and he took off. And they caught him because where did he go? He went home. So.
No, what an idiot. And wouldn't you dine and dash for something a little bit more expensive than Buffalo Wild Wings? If you're going to dine and dash, go to like a 5-star restaurant and fucking take off, you know?
Yeah.
Don't go to Buffalo Wild Wings for like cheap wing night and take off on a $16 check.
Like, here's the thing. Like, I could totally understand forgetting your wallet at home and being really embarrassed and, the fleeting moment thinking I should just leave
Yeah.
just to avoid the embarrassment. But it's like, the server is a human, and if you were to leave some kind of collateral and be like, I have to come back for this, I'll come back with the money I owe you. You just go home, you get your wallet, and you pay when you get back. But I don't know. I'm sure that this is something that he probably does all the time because he told the police to fuck off after they tried to make him pay for it anyway.
How did he get caught? I don't even see how he got caught. I mean, if you're doing that's a pretty shitty dine and dash, honestly. I mean,
well, they didn't catch him at the restaurant. The waitress was able to get maybe even his plate number, but his car description and what he looked like. And the police just happened to see him, and they tried to pull him over.
See, I went to Buffalo Wild Wings today, and here's what I do if I wanted to do a dine and dash, because the Buffalo Wild Wings is at the mall where I work. So I would just run out into the mall, and there you go. Problem solved. I mean, no one's gonna know what you look like, really. Especially not me. I've got long hair. It's in my face, and then I just run out into the mall and just immerse myself in the people. I think it's a perfect plan.
You should try it tomorrow and let us know.
I'm not gonna try that because I used to be a waiter, and I've never dined and dashed.
I did it.
Yeah.
You've done it?
I've done it.
You scumbag.
I did it in Ireland because the euro was so goddamn expensive, and the waiter never came back. It was like an hour. We were like waiting for the waiter for like an hour. I'd say a better part of an hour. I wouldn't say a full hour. And when he never came back, we looked at each other like, well, fuck it. We can't afford this anyway. Well, let's just go. And that's pretty much what we did.
Oh, well, fuck him. That's poor service.
So it was in Galway.
Which is exactly why we have the tipping system in the United States, because Europe doesn't have that, and the waiter will like serve your food and then just never come back. It's like the server in America will almost always come back.
However, you can argue that because we have the tipping system, if someone were to dine and dash, the server doesn't get paid at all.
Oh, that's true. The server has to pay for the meal.
Not always, not everywhere.
Oh, most places.
Especially if it's locally owned or like you know what I mean, like but with chains they'll cover that kind of shit.
Speaking of rape.
Oh yeah, I was just about to bring that up to you guys.
I know you were. I know. Guam?
The island?
No, not Guam. Sorry.
Speaking of
Saudi Arabia is going to be stopping beheadings. Why do you think, Kalis? Due to blank.
Due to number of complaints.
Ooh, yeah, from the heads.
Heads.
Right after they're beheaded, they're like, "Hey, can I fill out a survey?"
How do you feel about your beheading? Are you satisfied?
Rate your beheading on a scale from 0 to 5. No, so Saudi Arabia may stop beheading due to swordsman shortages.
Oh wow.
The
economy is hitting everybody hard, let me tell you.
The ultra-conservative Gulf Kingdom beheaded 76 people in 2012. According to an AFP tally based on official figures, Human Rights Watch, the HRW, put the number at 69. Rape, murder, apostasy, I don't know what that is, armed robbery, and drug trafficking are punishable by death under Saudi Arabia's strict version of Sahira, or Islamic law. So far this year, 3 people have been executed, but they're going to be moving to firing squads.
Yes, progressive. That's what I like about that country.
Until they run out of gunsmen. I mean, how are you gonna? I mean, if you ran out of swordsmen, how are you gonna? What's to say that firing squad? You're gonna hire more people.
Why? I don't know what qualifies a person as a swordsman, for one, and also, what do you care how good? I'm assuming it's like a skill level, and I'm thinking, how skillful do you even care that this guy is if he's cutting off somebody's head? Like, if he's cutting off somebody's head, make it the worst guy. Give it to like 3 4-year-olds with like really dull knives and just let them go at it.
That's the thing. I think they do want skilled beheaders because it takes a lot of force to actually cut through the neck.
Yeah, but you know what? Just you're gonna have to sacrifice some quality for some quantity here. You know, get with this, Saudi Arabia. Come on, don't change on me now. You know?
Yeah. What's with the Saudis, man? It's like they're acting like
They're
they're
getting all
running out of
soft.
money.
They're
Yeah.
getting all soft.
Yeah. Did you hear about
Unbelievable.
that Saudi princess that skipped out on
Guys,
her?
y'all sound like y'all are alienating our Saudi listeners.
Fuck them.
What are they gonna do? They're not gonna behead me, Kayla.
They might.
Did you hear about that princess that skipped out on like a $2 million bill in Paris?
Segway.
Yeah.
I
Dude.
didn't.
Yeah,
Was
she like went to Paris. She had her own private entourage, people she hired in Paris, and then she just left and didn't pay them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, for like 2
Princess
weeks.
of what country?
She's some princess. You know how their families are in Saudi Arabia? They just have like all these. What do you call them?
Money.
No, what do you call the guys? Sultans.
Sultan. How did you forget that? What are you talking
I don't
about?
know.
Aladdin, man.
I saw Aladdin when I was like 10, so.
Well, you should
But
watch it
Sultan
again
is
now
so,
that
like,
you're 30.
She's some princess. I don't know.
Well, there's no punishment anymore if you do anything in Saudi Arabia. That's ridiculous. I mean, it's not Saudi Arabia I know. You know what I mean?
Not the Saudi Arabia I grew up with.
No, it's not. Firing squad? Come on. What's weird though, you're right. I'm sure they want skilled swordsmen, but that just means they can't find like big butch guys or women, but probably not women in Saudi Arabia. Who you don't really need to be skilled, you just need to be strong. But if that's really the case, like if the shortage is of executioners, the last thing you want to do is say, you know what, fuck it, we're doing firing squads, hire 15. Well, you can't find anyone. That's why you don't have
one
swords.
really good shot.
Yeah, but that's not a firing squad then. That's a fire.
It'd be a firing squad.
Not really a good squad.
Where's a firing squad?
I mean, you could run away from that potentially, is what I'm saying. Unless you're like chained up.
Ryan, if I'm ever a sultan, I'm gonna shoot you. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, you're not gonna behead me, that's for sure.
I know, we're out of those guys.
And
They got a union.
that's probably why.
That is exactly what it is.
They're picketing. They got a bunch of people. Well, I was gonna say they have heads on sticks while they picket, but then they'd be doing their job.
You cut off heads all day, 10 hours, no break. It's not fair.
And they're Scottish too.
And there's I'm getting a little
Drunk. I go. All right.
drunk segue. Roar.
Go.
So speaking of slaves, a New York socialite is on trial for allegedly keeping a slave for 6.5 years in her mansion in upstate New York.
Mm.
Her and her husband picked up this undocumented immigrant, Indian immigrant from India, the country, and and they said, we're going to pay you $1,000 a month to, I guess, be a house worker, but they wouldn't let her leave.
Oh God. Well, imagine being stuck all day inside in upstate New York in a mansion. Whoa.
It could be. I mean, well, I would want to leave, especially if these crazy people wouldn't let me leave. Let me ask you also.
Like, what if you just wanted to go out? You know?
No, Nicole, if you keep reading, they made her stay in a closet, and it's like a 25-room mansion, and she didn't sleep in a single one of them.
What? Really?
Yeah, it was like a walk-in closet or something they made her sleep in.
I've heard of people like chaining their kids at the toilets and just weird shit like that.
Yeah. What do you mean
you
you've heard of it?
It's happened. I mean,
I know, but you made it sound natural. I mean,
Well,
I know people chain their kids to toilets, but like, come on.
what I'm trying to get at here is, do you think it's like, in the way that it may be a psychological desire to have a drink or get high or gamble, or do you think there might be this weird impulse that some people have to like own people? I mean,
Yes, it's a domination thing, and it's I'm better than that person.
it's interesting.
But what strikes you, what's even more interesting is, and you know what? What constitutes a slave, first of all? What's the difference between a kidnapping of 6 years and a slave? That's kidnapping.
She had to work.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
That would be a slave.
so in other words, so what's worse? What's worse if you get arrested? Is it slavery or is it kidnapping? What's worse?
Well, I think
Slavery.
Slavery's worse?
Slavery is definitely worse.
So
That's human trafficking. That's definitely worse.
okay, so then let's bring rape back into this, right?
Okay. Did they sexually abuse her?
I doubt it, but it doesn't say, if I remember correctly. However, say you kidnap someone, Kalis, right? And
Okay.
you make them, and you kidnap them for 6 years, and you make them sleep in your closet, right?
Okay.
And every once in a while, you rape them. I don't know,
Okay.
guy, girl, whatever you're into.
All right.
That's a kidnapping.
And a rape, a sexual assault.
Right.
Well,
Say-
they're not charging the woman, the millionaire, with kidnapping. They're charging her with harboring an undocumented immigrant.
And technically, she's a sex slave. So.
They didn't have sex.
No,
No, we were in my
Kidnapping-
hypothetical situation.
yeah.
Kidnapping is holding somebody against their will.
That's what they were doing to her.
But
But they were also
not
forcing.
really.
her to
They
work.
were paying her.
Wait,
You know
they
what
were
I
paying
mean?
her?
Like she probably could have escaped if she wanted to.
So let me ask you this then.
So
Well-
this is like having an employee that just after 6 years of just being a recluse in your house just was like, I'm gonna sue you. Said you never let me leave. I mean, is that?
No, she's not suing them. See, when she didn't even call the police, her son did. Like she told her son what her job was like, and her son was like, "That's not right," and he called a National Human Trafficking Resource Center.
Oh, wow.
And the thing is like she doesn't know better. Like she didn't know. I'm imagining she didn't know that she should leave. It wasn't until her son was like, "Mom, they're totally coercing you and taking advantage of you," and
Oh, no, that's different. Okay.
yeah. So it's not like she couldn't leave. It's just that they were treating her like a slave.
Because really, so far, it sounds like every job in America. And by that, I mean like shitty hours, shitty compensation. Anyway, well, I don't know. Who's up? Me?
Yep.
Okay. Next story from Oslo. A Norwegian kindergartner teacher was fired this week. Okay, ready, Kalis?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Nor-
I'm here.
I'm gonna give you the title with a blank in it, and you fill in the blank.
Okay.
Norway teacher fired after children taste her blank.
Pot brownies.
Now, Nicole, you know what it is, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Wait, let me guess again. Taste her homemade alcohol.
She didn't
mix
make
or something?
anything. No. Norway teacher fired after children taste her blood.
Why?
I think it was just during a science class, and she brought in a couple vials of her own blood, and the kids were playing with it, and then one of the kids said, "How do we clean it up?" And you know when like you have a, this is how I'm assuming it went down. She did. I'll tell you how I assume it went down, and then I'll tell you what it actually says. But you know when you like have a cut on your finger, and you're like, you're not gonna wipe the blood on your shirt, so you just put it in your mouth.
Yes.
Well, I'm pretty sure one of the kids was like, "Hey, how do we clean this up?" And she just like put her finger in her mouth, and so all the kids did that.
Oh my god.
Isn't that fucking weird?
Well, those are some stupid ass Norwegian kids. I'll tell you that.
No, that's not fair. They're 3 to 6 years old.
I don't care.
Still dumb.
No, monkey see, monkey do. They don't know.
You're right. Fine. They get the little kid pass, but I'm just saying I wouldn't put someone else's blood in my mouth.
They asked.
Yeah, but I wouldn't want to touch someone else's blood either.
Oh yeah?
They wanted to touch it, so she let them.
Well, that's strange.
I just wonder what her intentions were when she. I could see like, oh, the right intentions, sort of, but really poorly executed. No pun intended. From the last story. Get it? What was that ding?
Oh, you hear everything. That was I'm eating edamame and the seed pod went into my wine glass.
Well, it's
Because
that's.
I'm classy.
But it sounded like I made a good joke. No pun intended from the last story. And I went ding.
Ding.
But anyway, so Kalis, it really poses the question: would you drink your teacher's blood? I mean, it's
It's not the
really.
teacher.
Yeah, true. Also,
I'm
I thought
pretty
you'd say
sure-
vagina.
Yeah.
What about vagina?
Norway teacher fired after children taste her vagina.
Well, that was the obvious way to go. I wasn't gonna. Come on, give me some credit.
We still have like 4 more stories. You want to rapid fire?
No, well, maybe if they're bad stories. Let's see.
Let's do a lightning round.
Lightning round.
All right. For the sake of time, let's do a lightning round. Now, Nicole, are you next?
Yes. Okay.
How about
ready?
this, Kalis? How about this?
Yeah.
Nicole will read the headline. I'll read a headline. Nicole will read a headline. I'll read a headline, and then Nicole will read a headline because that's what we have left. You tell me which one's interesting enough to read.
Okay. Go.
All right. Drunken driver sues buddy. New Mexico restaurants.
That was a good one. The Punisher takes vengeance on Russians' bad drivers.
Oh God.
Applebee's waitress asks patron for ID, gets own stolen driver's license in return.
I mean, that's pretty much the whole story. The Vatican purchases Europe's largest gay sauna.
Maryland woman cited for driving too slowly in the left lane. Yeah, fuck her. That's the whole story. Fuck her.
She was driving 63 and a 65. Do you know how fast you were going? 65, 63.
Let's do the. Was that all of them?
That's all of them.
Let's do the friend suing the friend.
Okay, that's you. That's you, Nicole.
Oh, I didn't read this one. Drunken driver sues buddy. New Mexico restaurant.
Okay, I'll do. You want me to read it then?
You read it. You read it.
Long story short, Nicole, fact check me as I say this, okay?
Okay.
This guy went to Applebee's, ironically enough, because the other story was about Applebee's.
Uh-huh.
And he got wasted, and he drove home and ended up killing a bunch of teenagers with his buddy in the car. Okay.
Oh my God.
He went to jail. I'm pretty sure he's still in jail, or at least he's been in jail for about 2 years, and he's finally appealing, or he's finally suing, bringing a lawsuit against Applebee's for making him drunk, and his buddy for not stopping him driving drunk.
Ooh,
Oh God.
Ooh, that's rough.
Fact checker.
Mm-hmm. Nope, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh
So
my God.
now I went to bartending school in Massachusetts, and I will tell you that it is illegal, and it is the responsibility of the bartender, which ultimately falls on the restaurant or bar that you work at, to not get your patrons drunk. So the fact that he is suing the bar, I don't know, where was it?
New Mexico.
Oh, right, New Mexico. I don't know New Mexico's laws regarding serving alcohol, but if they're anything like Massachusetts, the guy might actually have a case.
Yeah, I would think so because it's the same way in South Carolina. You get drunk and you get behind the wheel, they will find out where you got drunk at and they will fine the establishment. I don't know, it's weird. It says that he filed without a lawyer.
Yeah, he filed on behalf of himself.
His friend caused him emotional distress due to the loss of liberty and enjoyment of life after he was served drinks. That's not how my drinking goes.
Yeah.
What an asshole.
Yeah. So that's the news.
Way to go, news. Pat yourself on the back.
If you want to hear us discuss any of those other stories that you heard the title to, but we didn't discuss, email us at thestrangecastmail@gmail.com. It's just easier to say that. Or go to our website, mimeraudio.com, mimr.com/thestrangecast, or YouTube. Send us a message.
I've been using the YouTube channel a lot to watch our videos, listen to our
Yeah.
videos. So I recommend them highly to anybody.
I also recommend going to iTunes and subscribing.
iTunes. You can subscribe on iTunes, yeah. Google us. We're on shit that I forgot I even signed us up for. So I'm sure there's like a million other. There might be like some place that we're really popular, but we're just not answering anyone.
Country. Yeah, that's true.
Like all of Croatia is celebrating the Strangecast every week.
Oh, they Strangecast.
And we just don't speak Croatian, so it just keeps going to our junk box.
Yeah.
I love the Croatians.
Well, the good news is you could Google search the Strangecast and get us. The bad news is no one searches the Strangecast. So.
Right.
Okay. Go ahead.
Wait, I want to
Yeah, go
tell
ahead.
you guys the thing. Okay, so a friend of mine has an uncle that's a pharmacist. And I forgot really what the conversation that took place before this was about, but what we were talking about is how his uncle is just a really staunch Catholic and like an Orthodox Roman Catholic. He's very, very religious, and he made this casual comment like, if people come in and ask him for the Plan B drug or any kind of contraceptive that you get, or I guess that's not a contraceptive. I don't know what it's classified as, but anything like that you would have to get over the counter but not necessarily need a prescription for, he will always say that they are out of it, so he won't have to give it to them. And he does this because he feels like it's against his religion. And so he doesn't get in trouble because nobody, he just says we're out of it. And so, but he just will never do this. And my friend was like defending his uncle, saying, well, and my friend agrees with me that, we're both not religious, so we think it's complete bullshit anyway. But he's like, no, I think it's infringing on his religious rights. That's the way he feels about it too. And I'm like, no, he works for a chain pharmacy. He's a pharmacist. He has to give that shit out. I mean, I was blown away, and I was blown away that he was even defending him too. Like, I just was like, that's crazy. That's not right.
Yeah, there's like, say for instance, you get drafted in wartime, right?
Right.
You get drafted, and it's against your religious belief to kill people. So what they'll do is they'll have you write up what's called a conscientious objector. And then you're still drafted into the military, but they won't put you at the front lines. You'll do office work on the home front. Right. You know what I mean?
Now, okay, go ahead. Sorry.
That was it. Yeah.
So, now my only argument against that is that sounds great. By the way, I mean that's cool that you get the option, I should say. But what if technically what you're doing on the front line is helping those who are killing? So, I mean, you could kind of say, well, no, it doesn't matter what I do. If I help, I'm
right. And there's been some cases where they take it that far and say, no, I don't want to be in the military at all. And what those cases have turned into is them doing some type of volunteerism for the national cause of, like, you go and volunteer and give vaccinations to soldiers or something like that. Like, you're not in the military, you're not helping them with their cause, but you're helping people who work for the government, basically. That was actually a big deal back, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago? They uphold that now. They don't have to serve. They don't have to give out these prescriptions if they don't want to.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, that's the last I heard of it. They were like, well, that's the Constitution.
But now wait a minute. But Kalis, isn't that insubordinate?
What do you mean?
I mean, he's not doing his job.
Only if anybody found out.
Yeah, I mean, how no one would ever. I suppose the women or men, the farm techs that work there would be able to notice that and say something, but I guess that never happens. I mean, I don't know.
But that's the South for you.
That's the South for you, and that's the Strangecast for you.
And that was a Strangecast.
Okay, let's talk us out.
Okay. It's been a great show today. I had a great time. There was a lot of memories made. And, are we supposed to... Well, you want me just to talk, or you want me to actually give out all the email addresses and stuff?
Do the whole nine. Who gives a shit?
I don't know all the email addresses and stuff. I'm just gonna talk us out.
Okay.
So that was the Strangecast. We had a lot of fun here today. I'm glad I didn't get raped this time, but hopefully in the future it'll happen. If you have any comments or criticisms about what you saw, what you witnessed here today, you can always get in touch with us.
Nicole got a fan mail, actually.
And it was one of our first.
Yeah. Well, I want to go on record saying that if I told you guys that if we ever got fan mail, the first one would be in the form of hate mail.
That wasn't hate mail.
That was love-hate mail.
But you know how he found us? YouTube. So you too should tube us.
That was so corny.
No. Well, I'm actually writing our description for our YouTube channel right now. So I included, if anyone cares, I included the stories to the ones we didn't get to that Nicole and I read off. So for the little old lady that was driving too slow, the name of that story is "Move, Bitch, Get Out the Way."
Nice.
Big Catholic gay saunas. Slaver kidnapping, you decide. Vampire teacher. Drunken driver drives friend crazy. That's a good one. That's as far as I got.
That's good.
Stolen Apple ID.
Are you still recording?
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway, good night, evening. Good morning.
Buenas noches.
Of cancer in 1982, age 46. He donated his body for medical science. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but the rest I'll paraphrase from what I read. He was to donate his body, his skull, to the performing arts, and it was to be used in Hamlet. Now, I know Nicole is very versed in Hamlet. Based on, and if you haven't listened to it, go listen to the most boring story ever told on our YouTube page. But Kalis, are you familiar with Hamlet at all?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, so I won't go through the whole nitty gritty, but suffice it to say, there's a scene where Hamlet goes through. I don't know. Now, Nicole, correct me if I'm wrong. Is it a graveyard? Is it just a battle scene, or is it the catacombs?
No, it's a graveyard, and there's grave diggers that have been digging a grave for somebody
Anyway,
who's been killed, and he finds a skull, and he picks it up, and he recognizes the skull as somebody he knows.
And the scene is the famous speech is, "Alas, poor York, I knew him, Horatio, a fellow of most infinite jest, of most excellent fancy," and he recognizes the skull as Yorick's because Yorick had two front fucked up teeth, and Yorick was also their jester. That's neither here nor there. So anyway, this guy died, and he wanted his skull to be used in that famous scene. So it was donated to the Arts Center, and where, I don't know. I'll look it up later. Or you could just go to just click the link. I'm assuming in England because David Tennant is one of the Doctor Who actors.
Oh my god!
So anyway, I could be wrong. I hope I'm not.
You're not. He's the ninth.
Right.
He's the ninth Doctor. That's cool. That's pretty awesome. I'm glad you're happy about that.
Mm-hmm.
And Ryan, anything going on with you?
I have a serious case of TMJ, and I can't open my mouth. And the only thing I could do, I tried to eat a taco today, and it really hurt.
Oh.
I bought a mouth guard, which I don't know if anyone who's listening, I don't know if anyone is listening, but I don't know if anyone who would be listening has ever worn a mouth guard. And my clenching of teeth at night is so bad that my whole dream, this is the first time I ever wore a mouth guard, my whole dream was how I couldn't clench my teeth.
Oh no.
Yeah. And I woke up and I spit the thing out just to like bite down, and I didn't even realize it until the morning.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's bad.
Wow.
And they wanted, they're like, and we'll do a cleaning. I'm like, nah, I just want to get my fucking teeth removed or whatever you have to do. Let's not kick me when I'm down. But
Yeah, I don't mind the dentist. The dentist isn't too bad. I've always had a good time. I guess because he always drugs me up.
It's just, there's always a problem when I go to the dentist. That's why. There's always something I got to come back for. It's never just like a cleaning and hey, see you later, see you in 6 months. It's always a cleaning and and we also have to do this, this, and this. That'll take 4 times of you coming in. So why don't you do? And it's just like, God damn it. So anyway, the news.
The news.
First things first. Penis dying wish fulfilled as David Tennant uses his skull in Hamlet performance.
Wait, what? Oh, pianist.
Pianist.
A pianist.
So Andre Tokowowski died.
So I put down money, and I put money in her account, like $40.
Oh boy.
To pay for her gas, and she was supposed to be here Friday, and I just heard from her today. Now, first, where would your mind go with that?
She stole your money.
Okay.
She's a whore.
Nicole?
She's a prostitute, no hooker.
She's
also a prince of Nigeria.
She got scared.
Okay. I called. What would your reaction have been? Like, would you have called them a couple times? How many times would you have called them to try and get in touch with them?
I would have.
3 over the course of the weekend.
Yeah, 3 is a good number. 2 or 3.
I probably called her once every day just to be like, hey, what the fuck,
Yeah.
Well, turns out she got arrested.
No.
And I didn't know, and I felt bad because progressively my messages would be more harsh. Like the last one I left was, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, well, I mean, she should recognize that that's a natural reaction.
And she did, and she was like, she was kind of like, she thought I would be the one that was mad. I was, and
But I want to see an arrest record.
I'm not that worried about it. I was more happy to hear from her. I was genuinely concerned. I was kind of like, I wonder what happened to her. But then I was like, maybe she scammed me. I couldn't,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right back to Nigeria.
What did she say she got arrested for?
She was smoking a blunt and got caught by the cops.
Prostitution.
She was in a car with a friend, and the car they came up and tapped on the window.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, car with a friend.
I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt. That's the kind of guy I am. But I thought you guys would like to know how it's come full. I mean, it's that's as far as it's gotten. So interesting stuff. I was pissed. I was upset, and like the night she was supposed to come over, and she, I never heard from her. I was like, well, fuck this. And I went out on my own.
Hey, she gets one phone call. The fuck?
Yeah, you're right. You would think she'd be calling me
She
first
should have
thing.
called you.
Also, who didn't bail her out for 3 days?
I don't know.
No, for like a week almost. Well, less than 4 or 5 days. 4 days.
Maybe she got out already. Maybe she got out before then. She just didn't call me until now. I don't know.
Well, no, because maybe no one could afford to bail her out, and she was just going to get arraigned on Monday.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, but bailout's probably like $40 to be honest with you, Kaylis.
No way, man.
No, I don't
When
think
so. When I got bailed out, my bail was $5,000. They went through a bail bondsman, and they.
Well, that depends on the arrest, I guess. Yeah.
Well, I think weed's it's a narcotic. I mean, as far as the state's concerned, it is. And I mean, it's the same charge as a DUI. It's like a Class B, Class C.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You gotta understand, this is Texas, so
Yeah.
it's probably a little different.
Okay, so that's what's going on with your woman.
That's what's going on with
your
that
special
one
lady
woman.
friend, man.
I've got it's my fucking special lady friend.
Are you helping her conceive?
Just fuck off, Delfino.
Anyway, the news.
Whoa. That's so fast. What's going on with you guys?
I got a job!
Woo! I'll throw in some applause.
Woo!
Yay!
I got a really cool job with really cool people. So.
Welcome to the Strangecast podcast made by Strangers for Strangers. I'm Ryan.
My name's Kalis.
I'm Nicole.
And we're the Strangecast. And that's our intro again, as always. As always after we say our names.
And I would say our contest has now become the first person to offer to remix our opening. You get money of some kind, like a gift card. I don't care.
We'll figure it out.
Somebody do it. Just do it. I'm challenging everybody that's listening to this right now. Fucking remix that fucking song.
I have GarageBand.
Well, I got GarageBand. I mean, we could definitely do it. But you can't qualify. You can't.
No, I'm definitely not. I'm superhuman with vision, not with hearing.
Tetrachromia.
Tetrachromia, that's true.
Well, in this episode, we're going to be doing, guess what?
What?
Say it, Kalis.
Is it the news?
The news. He's got it.
Oh.
I figured it out.
I hope there's some news about rape.
But first, I don't think there is. I don't know.
There better be, or I'm going to quit.
There's no rape, but we'll sneak a rape in there somewhere. Which is what most people do, is they sneak a rape in.
Most people will sneak a rape.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta get Twitter open.
Get a little rape in there. So, first things first, Kalis wants to bring up a little, hey, how you doing?
And I'll tell you what's been going on. Remember back when I had said I had met a girl on OkCupid?
Yeah, you're the subplot.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so, I mean, we hooked up a couple of times, and she moved away, about 2 hours away, and she wanted to come back to visit. And I was like, cool, I know you got friends here, I know you want to, so let's make this happen.